You work harder than almost everyone around you, yet you watch others with less effort live the life you dream of. You lie awake at night wondering why abundance seems to slip through your fingers like sand, while those who appear less deserving swim in prosperity. You've whispered to God countless times, asking when your breakthrough will come, but all you hear is silence. I am Solomon, and I was once exactly where you are now. Before I became the richest man who ever walked this earth, I spent years in preparation that felt more like punishment. I understand that ache in your chest when you see others living your dreams. I know the weight of bills that never seem to end, the shame of checking your bank account, and the exhaustion of pushing forward when nothing seems to change. But what if I told you that every struggle you're facing right now, every closed door, every delayed blessing is not God ignoring you, but God preparing you? What if your current season of waiting is actually a season of becoming someone completely different? Someone ready not just to receive wealth, but to be entrusted with it without losing your soul. There are 7 unmistakable signs that God is preparing you for wealth right now. These are not the signs you think they are. They don't look like blessings. They look like tests. They feel like delays. But when you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, everything changes. You stop being the person who chases money and become the person money flows to naturally. This is not another motivational speech about positive thinking. This is the ancient wisdom that transformed a shepherd boy into the most prosperous king in history. The same divine process that prepared me to handle wealth beyond imagination is preparing you right now. If you're ready to stop wondering when your time will come and start recognizing that your time is already here, if you're ready to transform from someone who needs wealth to someone worthy of wealth, then you need to hear every word of what comes next. Subscribe now, because this message will change how you see your current struggles forever. Number 1, divine preparation. You pray for wealth every night, but when challenges knock on your door, you curse them as obstacles. You beg heaven for abundance, yet when the very training that creates abundance arrives disguised as hardship, you resist it with every fiber of your being. This is the great contradiction of human nature. We want the prize without the preparation, the crown without the crucible, the gold without the fire that purifies it. I am Solomon, and I speak to you not as someone who was born into riches, but as someone who was forged by divine preparation. Before I became the wealthiest man in history, I was broken down and rebuilt in ways that seemed cruel at the time. Every sleepless night questioning my worthiness, every moment of doubt about my path, every trial that felt like punishment was actually God molding me into a vessel capable of holding infinite abundance without breaking. Here is the truth that will shake you to your core. God never, and I mean never, entrusts wealth to an unprepared soul. It would be like giving a sharp sword to a child or handing nuclear codes to someone who cannot even manage their own temper. Divine wealth is not just money. It is responsibility, influence, power over the lives of thousands, the ability to change the destiny of nations. Would you trust such power to someone who crumbles under the weight of a difficult day at work? Picture this, a master craftsman creating a golden chalice. He does not simply pour the gold and call it finished. He heats it until it melts. He hammers it while it is soft. He polishes it until every imperfection is removed. The gold screams under the hammer. It protests the heat. It resists the pressure. But without this process, it remains worthless or buried in darkness. You are that gold, and every challenge you face is the divine hammer shaping you into something worthy of holding the most precious gifts heaven can offer. When I was young, I watched my father King David face betrayal from those closest to him. I saw him weep in caves, hunted like a criminal when he had done nothing but serve God faithfully. I did not understand then why the Almighty would allow such suffering to touch His chosen one. But years later, when I sat on the throne, I understood. Every betrayal had taught my father discernment. Every night in the wilderness had taught him humility. Every tear shed in exile had washed away the arrogance that would have corrupted absolute power. When wealth and authority finally came, he was ready. Not just ready to receive it, but ready to steward it wisely. The preparation may seem harsh because it is harsh. God is not interested in making you comfortable. He is interested in making you capable. Comfort creates entitlement, but difficulty creates character. Ease breeds weakness, but pressure creates diamonds. You complain about the weight of your current burdens, not realizing that God is building the spiritual muscle you will need to carry the weight of true prosperity. Every rejection you face today is teaching you resilience for the criticism that will come when you are successful. Every financial struggle you endure now is developing the discipline you will need to manage millions wisely. Every person who underestimates you currently is preparing you to remain humble when the world bows at your feet. The process is not punishment. The process is love. Divine love that refuses to let you receive something that would destroy you. Most people pray for their circumstances to change, but God is more interested in changing the person within the circumstances. Most people want their problems to disappear, but God wants to transform them into someone who can solve any problem. Most people beg for their mountains to move, but God is teaching them to become someone who moves mountains. This is why the process is more important than the reward. The reward is temporary. Your character is eternal. The wealth you accumulate on earth will stay here when you leave, but the person you become through divine preparation will follow you into eternity. God is not just preparing you to be rich. He is preparing you to be righteous. He is not just making you wealthy. He is making you wise. He is not just giving you money. He is giving you the character to handle money without losing your soul. So when you face your next trial, when the next wave of difficulty crashes over your life, do not ask God why He is punishing you. Ask Him what He is preparing you for. Do not curse the delay. Embrace it as development. Do not resist the pressure. Welcome it as purification. Every tear you shed today waters the seeds of the abundance you will harvest tomorrow. Number 2, Solomon's vision. You chase money like a starving man chases bread and wonder why it keeps running from you. You study every get-rich-quick scheme, memorize every investment strategy, follow every guru who promises overnight success, yet you remain exactly where you started. You have made money your god, but gods do not serve those who worship them incorrectly. You have approached the altar of prosperity with the wrong sacrifice. When I was a young king, barely old enough to understand the weight of a crown, God appeared to me in a dream and offered me anything my heart desired. Anything. Imagine that moment. I could have asked for vast treasures that would make me richer than any man who ever lived. I could have requested armies so powerful that no enemy would dare challenge me. I could have demanded a life so long that I would outlive generations. But I did not. I asked for wisdom, just wisdom, the ability to discern between good and evil, the capacity to govern my people justly, the understanding to make decisions that would honor heaven and bless earth. And in that single request, I revealed the greatest secret of divine abundance. True prosperity flows not to those who seek it directly, but to those who seek the character that attracts it naturally. Here is the divine paradox that governs all wealth. The moment you stop chasing money and start becoming the kind of person money flows toward, abundance begins to chase you. The moment you stop obsessing over the outcome and start perfecting the process, outcomes begin to improve beyond your wildest imagination. The moment you stop asking how to get rich and start asking how to become valuable, riches begin to find their way to you like rivers flowing toward the ocean. Think of a mighty oak tree that stands for centuries, its branches reaching toward heaven while its roots dig deep into the earth. This tree does not chase the rain. It does not run after the sunlight. It does not beg the soil for nutrients. Instead, it grows so strong, so deeply rooted, so perfectly aligned with the natural order that everything it needs flows to it effortlessly. The rain comes because the tree is ready to receive it. The sunlight comes because the tree is positioned to absorb it. The nutrients come because the tree has created the root system to draw them in. You are that tree, but you have been running around the forest chasing raindrops instead of growing roots. You have been jumping from branch to branch looking for fruit, instead of developing the trunk that can support an entire orchard. You have been so focused on what you can get that you have forgotten to become what you need to be to deserve getting it. When I chose wisdom over wealth, something extraordinary happened. God was so pleased with my request that He gave me both, but more importantly, He showed me how they are connected. Wisdom taught me to see opportunities where others saw obstacles. Wisdom taught me to value people over profits, and ironically, this made me more profitable than anyone who prioritized money over relationships. Wisdom taught me to give first and receive second, and this created a flow of abundance that never stopped. Wisdom revealed to me that wealth is not something you acquire. It is something you attract. It is not something you chase. It is something that finds you when you become magnetic to it. And you become magnetic to wealth not by wanting it more, but by becoming worthy of it. Not by trying harder, but by becoming better. Not by focusing on getting, but by focusing on giving value that makes getting inevitable. Inner alignment is the secret that no business school teaches, the principle that no financial advisor understands, the law that governs abundance in ways that most minds cannot comprehend. When your thoughts, emotions, actions, and values are all pointed in the same direction, when your inner world matches your outer ambitions, when your character is strong enough to support your dreams, then wealth stops being something you pursue and becomes something that pursues you. Most people are internally conflicted. They want wealth but hate wealthy people. They desire abundance but feel guilty about having more than others. They dream of success but fear the responsibility that comes with it. This internal contradiction creates a magnetic repulsion to the very thing they claim to want. They sabotage their own progress because, deep down, they do not believe they deserve what they are seeking. But the prepared man has resolved these conflicts. He understands that wealth is not evil if earned honorably and used wisely. He knows that abundance is not selfish if it enables greater service. He realizes that success is not a betrayal of humble beginnings if it is used to lift others from where he came. This alignment creates a gravitational pull that draws opportunity, resources, and favor from every direction. The prepared man does not wake up stressed about money because he knows that when he takes care of wisdom, wisdom takes care of wealth. He does not lose sleep over competition because he understands that there is no competition for someone who is becoming irreplaceably valuable. He does not fear failure because he knows that every setback is setting him up for a comeback that will be greater than anything he could have achieved without the lesson. When you understand this principle, everything changes. You stop begging and start building. You stop hoping and start growing. You stop waiting for your ship to come in and start becoming the harbor where all ships want to dock. This is not positive thinking. This is divine law. This is not wishful meditation. This is practical spirituality that transforms not just your bank account, but your entire existence. Number 3, the 7 signs of preparation. Right now, as you listen to these words, God is sending you signs that you are being prepared for wealth beyond your current imagination. But you are missing them because you are looking for signs that feel like blessings when divine preparation often feels like burdens. You are expecting a clear path when preparation requires you to find your way through darkness. You are waiting for easy when preparation is designed to make you strong. These 7 signs are not the gentle whispers of comfort you hope for. They are the fierce winds that test whether your roots go deep enough to withstand the storms that come with great success. They are not rewards for good behavior. They are invitations to become someone completely different, someone worthy of holding wealth without being destroyed by it. The first sign is trials that strengthen patience. Right now, You may be facing delays that make no sense, setbacks that feel unfair, obstacles that seem designed to break your spirit. You applied for that promotion months ago and heard nothing. You launched that business and customers are trickling in like drops from a broken faucet. You invested your heart in relationships that crumbled without explanation. Every door you approach seems locked. Every dream you chase seems to slip further away. But understand this: God is not withholding your breakthrough because He does not love you. He is withholding it because He loves you too much to give you something before you are ready to handle it. Patience is not just the ability to wait. Patience is the ability to maintain faith, hope, and right action while you wait. Patience is the ability to keep planting seeds even when you cannot see the harvest. Patience is the spiritual muscle that prevents wealth from corrupting you when it finally arrives. The second sign is the desire for wisdom over quick profit. You used to jump at every opportunity that promised fast money, but now something inside you hesitates when deals sound too good to be true. You find yourself reading books instead of scanning get-rich-quick schemes. You seek mentors instead of shortcuts. You value learning over earning, understanding that the person who grows rich overnight often goes broke just as quickly, but the person who builds wealth slowly and wisely keeps it for generations. The third sign is detachment from pride and ostentation. You no longer need to prove your worth through external displays. You do not buy things to impress people you do not even like. You are comfortable driving an older car if it serves your purpose, living in a modest home if it meets your needs, wearing simple clothes if they represent your values. This detachment is not poverty consciousness. This is wealth consciousness. Only someone who is internally rich can resist the temptation to appear rich. Only someone who knows their true value can ignore the opinions of others about their perceived value. The fourth sign is clarity in refusing dangerous shortcuts. Every week, someone approaches you with an opportunity that promises massive returns for minimal effort. Your friends pressure you to take risks that your spirit warns you against. Your family questions why you are not moving faster toward wealth, but something inside you, some divine wisdom, helps you recognize that the fastest way to wealth is often the fastest way to destruction. You choose the narrow path of integrity over the wide road of quick riches. The fifth sign is financial discipline and self-control. You have learned to live below your means even when you desperately want to live beyond them. You save money even when saving feels impossible. You invest in your future even when your present has needs. You have developed the ability to delay gratification, to choose long-term benefit over immediate pleasure. This discipline is not punishment. This is preparation. God is developing in you the character traits that will allow you to manage millions without losing control. The sixth sign is the ability to serve and add value. You find yourself naturally looking for ways to help others, to solve problems, to make life better for people around you. You derive satisfaction not from what you can get, but from what you can give. You understand that wealth flows to those who serve many, and you are developing the heart of a servant even before you have the resources of a king. This service is not weakness. This is strength. Only the strong can truly serve, and only servants become truly wealthy. The seventh sign is inner peace even in times of scarcity. While others panic about their circumstances, you maintain an unexplainable calm. While others curse their situations, you trust in divine timing. While others complain about what they lack, you give thanks for what you have. This peace is not denial. This is faith. This peace is not ignorance. This is wisdom. You know that your current circumstances are not your final destination, and this knowledge gives you the strength to endure any temporary discomfort. When these 7 signs appear in your life, do not curse them as obstacles. Celebrate them as invitations. Do not resist them as problems. Embrace them as preparation. Do not question why they are happening. Ask what they are preparing you for. Each sign is a divine chisel, sculpting away everything in your character that would make wealth dangerous to you. Each sign is a holy fire, burning away the impurities that would cause abundance to corrupt you. The man who possesses all 7 signs is ready for wealth that will not destroy him, success that will not make him arrogant, power that will not corrupt him, and influence that will not compromise his integrity. God has been preparing you not just to have wealth, but to steward it wisely for the benefit of yourself, your family, and everyone whose life you will touch. Number 4, how to interpret the signs. You have been taught to interpret pain as punishment, delay as denial, and struggle as evidence that God has forgotten your name. But what if everything you thought you understood about divine timing is completely wrong? What if every closed door was actually protection from a path that would have destroyed you? What if every delay was actually perfect timing that you simply could not see from your limited perspective? I have lived long enough and accumulated enough wisdom to tell you this truth. What seems like delay is almost always divine preparation working behind the scenes. What appears to be rejection is often redirection towards something far better than what you originally wanted. What feels like loss is frequently the clearing away of inferior things to make room for superior blessings. Think of a farmer who plants seeds in the spring and then waits months before seeing any visible results. To an ignorant observer, it might appear that the seeds have died, that the farmer wasted his time and resources, that nothing good will ever come from his efforts. But beneath the surface, invisible to the naked eye, roots are growing deeper, nutrients are being absorbed, and life is preparing to burst forth in ways that will exceed every expectation. Your life is that field, and God is the farmer who sees what you cannot see. Every season of waiting is a season of root development. Every period of struggle is a period of strength building. Every moment of apparent inactivity is actually intense preparation for a harvest that will amaze you when it finally comes. I remember a season in my own life when nothing seemed to work. Every decision I made seemed wrong. Every path I chose seemed blocked. Every door I approached seemed permanently sealed. I questioned my calling, doubted my abilities, and wondered if God had made a mistake in choosing me to lead His people. But years later, when I sat on the throne of Israel commanding wealth that made other nations envious, I understood that those difficult years were not wasted time. They were investment time. They were not punishment for my failures. They were preparation for my success. Every loss brings an invisible lesson that cannot be learned any other way. When you lost that job, you learned resilience you never knew you possessed. When that relationship ended, you discovered strength you did not know existed within you. When that business failed, you gained wisdom worth more than any profit you could have made. When that investment disappeared, you learned discernment that will protect you from far greater losses in the future. But here is what most people miss. The lesson is not in the loss itself. The lesson is in how you respond to the loss. Do you become bitter or better? Do you close your heart or open your mind? Do you give up on your dreams or adjust your strategy? Do you blame others for your circumstances or take responsibility for your growth? The same event that destroys one person's future can become the foundation for another person's success, and the difference is entirely in the interpretation and response. Every person who has achieved great wealth has stories of failures that seemed devastating at the time, but were actually essential stepping stones to their eventual success. The business that failed taught them what does not work so they could discover what does. The partnership that ended badly taught them how to choose associates more carefully. The investment that went wrong taught them how to analyze opportunities more thoroughly. Recognize the process as a divine calling. You have not been chosen for comfortable mediocrity. You have been called to uncomfortable greatness. You have not been selected for an easy life. You have been selected for an extraordinary life. And extraordinary lives require extraordinary preparation. Most people pray for their problems to go away. But what if your problems are not punishment but preparation? What if your struggles are not evidence of God's displeasure, but proof of His confidence in your potential? When you begin to interpret your challenges as preparation rather than punishment, everything changes. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become a student of your circumstances. You stop asking why this is happening to you and start asking what this is preparing you for. You stop cursing the process and start trusting the process. This shift in interpretation is not just positive thinking. This is divine thinking. This is not denial of difficulty. This is recognition of purpose within difficulty. When you understand that every setback is a setup for a comeback, every rejection is redirection towards something better, every loss is preparation for greater gain, you begin to move through life with a confidence that nothing can shake. The signs of divine preparation are all around you, but you must develop the spiritual vision to see them. The delay that frustrates you is actually perfect timing that protects you. The door that closed in your face was actually a wall that prevented you from walking into disaster. The person who rejected you actually freed you to meet someone better. The opportunity you missed was actually a trap you avoided. Start interpreting your life through the lens of divine preparation rather than human disappointment, and watch how quickly your perspective transforms from hopelessness to anticipation, from frustration to excitement, from despair to unshakable faith in the future that God is preparing for you. Number 5, how to align to receive. You have spent years trying to force doors open that God wants to keep closed, pushing rivers that are meant to flow in different directions, swimming against currents that could carry you to destinations far better than the ones you originally chose. But there comes a moment when you must stop fighting the universe and start flowing with it. There comes a time when you must stop demanding that life bend to your will and start aligning your will with the divine plan that knows things you cannot see. This alignment is not surrender to mediocrity. This is surrender to magnificence. This is not giving up on your dreams. This is allowing your dreams to be upgraded by someone who loves you more than you love yourself and sees possibilities that your limited vision cannot perceive. This is not weakness. This is the ultimate expression of strength, because it takes tremendous courage to trust a plan you cannot fully understand. Embrace patience as a virtue, not as a burden. You live in a world that worships speed, that celebrates instant gratification, that promises everything now and delivers emptiness later. But divine wealth operates on divine timing, and divine timing is perfect timing, even when it feels like terrible timing from your human perspective. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is active preparation. While you wait for the harvest, you prepare the soil. While you wait for the opportunity, you develop the skills. While you wait for the resources, you build the character. While you wait for the door to open, you become someone worthy of walking through it. Patience is the bridge between where you are and where God wants to take you. I learned this lesson in the most difficult season of my early reign. There were threats on every border, problems in every province, challenges that seemed to multiply faster than I could solve them. I wanted immediate solutions, instant victories, quick fixes to complex problems. But God taught me that some things cannot be rushed without being ruined. Some blessings cannot be forced without being corrupted. Some dreams cannot be accelerated without being destroyed. Cultivate daily discipline in silence. In the noise of your daily life, in the chaos of your circumstances, in the urgency of your needs, you have forgotten how to be still. You have forgotten how to listen. You have forgotten how to connect with the source of all abundance, all wisdom, all power. But it is in the silence that God speaks most clearly. It is in the stillness that divine direction becomes obvious. It is in the quiet moments that heaven downloads the strategies that earthly wisdom could never devise. Every morning, before the world demands your attention, before the bills require your energy, before the problems consume your thoughts, spend time in silence with your Creator. Not asking for things, but listening for guidance. not complaining about circumstances, but expressing gratitude for preparation, not begging for change, but seeking alignment with divine purpose. This daily discipline will transform you from the inside out. It will give you clarity when others are confused, peace when others are panicking, direction when others are wandering aimlessly. It will connect you to a source of wisdom that never fails, a fountain of strength that never runs dry, a wellspring of abundance that never ends. Trust that prosperity will come at the right time. Your timing is human timing based on impatience, fear, and limited understanding. But God's timing is perfect timing based on omniscience, love, and eternal perspective. He sees the whole story while you see only one page. He knows the ending while you are still struggling with the middle chapters. He understands the complete plan while you can only perceive fragments. This trust is not blind faith. This is informed faith. You trust not because you are naive, but because you have learned that God's delays are not God's denials. You trust not because life is easy, but because you have discovered that what seems like the wrong time often turns out to be exactly the right time. You trust not because you understand everything, but because you have experienced enough to know that understanding is not required for faith to work. When prosperity comes, and it will come, you will understand why it had to come when it did and not a moment sooner. You will see how every delay prepared you for greater success. You will recognize how every challenge built character you needed for handling abundance. You will realize that if wealth had come earlier, it would have destroyed you. But because it came when you were ready, it blessed not only you but everyone whose life you touch. The alignment process is not about becoming someone different. The alignment process is about becoming who you were always meant to be. It is about shedding the false identities that kept you small and embracing the divine identity that makes you great. It is about releasing the fears that limited your vision and accepting the faith that expands your possibilities. When you are truly aligned, abundance flows to you as naturally as water flows downhill. When you are truly prepared, opportunities find you instead of you having to chase opportunities. When you are truly ready, wealth pursues you with the same intensity that you once pursued wealth. This is not magic. This is divine law. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual physics. And when you align yourself with these laws, you discover that the universe is not working against you but working for you in ways that will exceed every dream you ever dared to dream. As you sit here right now, absorbing these ancient truths that have shaped kings and built empires, something profound is shifting within your spirit. The 7 signs are no longer just concepts you learned today. They are living realities awakening in your consciousness, divine markers that you are beginning to recognize in your own journey. Picture a seed buried deep in rich, dark soil. To the world above, nothing appears to be happening. The ground looks barren, unchanged, unremarkable. But beneath the surface, in the hidden depths where miracles begin, roots are stretching, life is stirring, and a transformation is taking place that will soon burst forth in ways that will astonish everyone who witness it. You are that seed. Every trial you have endured has been the soil enriching your character. Every moment of patience you have practiced has been water nourishing your growth. Every act of discipline you have chosen has been sunlight feeding your potential. The preparation is complete, even if the manifestation is not yet visible. This understanding changes everything. When you wake up tomorrow, you will no longer see delays as punishment, but as divine timing perfecting itself. You will no longer experience challenges as obstacles, but as opportunities to demonstrate the strength that wealth requires. You will no longer feel forgotten by heaven, but chosen for something magnificent that demands this level of preparation. The wealthy man is not the one who stumbles upon fortune by accident. The wealthy man is the one who becomes so aligned with divine principles that abundance flows to him as naturally as rivers flow to the sea. You are becoming that man. You are being transformed into that woman. The process is sacred, and the outcome is certain. If these words resonate in the depths of your soul, if you feel the stirring of recognition that your season of preparation is preparing you for something extraordinary, then you understand that this is not just a message you happen upon. This is a divine appointment. Subscribe to continue walking this path of transformation with others who recognize the signs and are ready to step into their destiny. Your preparation is not punishment. Your preparation is promotion to a life beyond your wildest imagination.